Hello, welcome to this episode of Uneducation Station today. I don't think they do. Today we have a special episode. I am with Arthur. Hello, Arthur. I have Zach with me, and today we have some guests. Jackson and Alec have returned. Welcome back, Jackson. Friendly face here. He's here every other day.
This is my fifth time.
This is your fifth. Is it your fifth time?
It is. We went back and looked at it.
Holy shit. Wait, really?
Uh-huh.
I thought it would be like 4. Bet. And then this is Alec's second time, actually. He was our first guest ever. And he's back here. The first time Alec came, it was kind of a disaster. I'm not going to lie. It wasn't the greatest, how do I say? It wasn't the greatest look for us as podcasters, but now we've changed a bit. How do you like us set now?
It's gorgeous.
Gorgeous?
Yeah, I like
Thank
it
you.
a lot.
I appreciate that. I don't even, I'm trying to think comfy that. See, I was going for that. I wanted that. It's because of the couch. I think the couch is like, it has to happen for the
casting
guests,
couch.
The casting couch. But it's not the casting. The casting couch has like the 2 sides.
That's true.
You know what I mean? So this is just.
Oh, we can get close.
This is gonna be an exciting episode. Look, I have this shock about again.
Yay!
This is gonna be great. Yeah, not a whole lot has changed, but I've been looking forward to this episode. We've been preparing so hard for this episode, so I'm excited for how great this.
I think that this is probably the most anticipated episode.
The only reason why it's the most anticipated is because we keep bringing it up.
We've been talking about it since like the first. Was it when he was on, or was it when I first came on?
Honestly, when one of you guys came, we're talking about let's just talk about school one of these days. Get all 4 of us here. We're all homies.
All the goons.
Mm-hmm. So let's start really quick. How do we know each other? Unless you don't want.
Me.
Roughly,
Yeah, generally like all
Zach,
through Zach. Yeah,
it is through Zach.
We all went to Prairie technically for at least a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, altogether.
Yeah.
However, I knew Zach since I was much younger, and then I don't know about y'all, so get fucked. But I knew Zach when I was elementary school, 3rd grade.
Yeah,
3rd grade, baby. And that's just kind of how it went.
Yeah, and then I think it kind of became all of us converging for one reason or another. Like, I know that Alec and I were hanging out for a while. This was probably like 2016, 2017 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I don't know, Jackson, I don't know where you were. You were just off doing something during that period of time, like when I first started hanging out with Alec a lot.
What time was that?
Well, both of y'all were in band, right?
2017. I was knowing you.
Yeah, I know. But like, I don't know how you guys didn't meet until a little bit after that.
Oh.
You were really good at keeping different friend groups separate.
Well, that's how it works in high school. You keep different friend groups and you never speak to other ones.
Yeah. You don't intermingle.
No, you do. How dare you? You would never.
Exactly.
Who are these people? You're hanging out with other people? No.
Yeah. I met him once when I was still in high school. And it was because you had some friends over and I was also over, and then he ended up coming because that was their friend group. I just so happened to be there. And then we didn't meet it again until,
so instead of fighting,
I looked at you on the couch. I was like, "Who the fuck is this?"
Why is this dude playing? Hey, my job's playing guitar, all right.
Yeah, they found out that they were both guitar players, and then now they share a casting couch together.
Wow. The evolution of man. Yeah. Charles Darwin expected this.
And I think the entire group converged during COVID, because that was when all of us were streaming. That was when I started
playing games.
Yeah. And so that ended up kind of being the time where I was like, oh God, here we go. I'm putting Arthur in the group chat. Like, it's gonna.
Oh yeah. You dropped me in your damn Discord. Like, hey, what's good, guys? Hey guys, how are you? Hello. The new friend in the group. Hello. Who's this guy with an anime profile picture?
Who's this Asian dude, man?
But no. And now we're here. Now we're here together.
Yeah.
Started in a Discord call. Now we're all here. I mean, it helps that we're in the same city, same state. You know, but you know, in general, I think it's always kind of the I don't want to say this is gonna sound great. The dream of internet friends, right?
Yeah.
Meeting in real life. So this is a step for mankind. Step for the Goon Squad.
The Goon Squad has become something so far beyond me. And I think that that's really cool. Like the Goon Squad, the Discord server that I made, that I added all of you guys to, that was initially just for us to just kind of like dick around and play video games. And then it kind of turned into Jackson would be in there listening to music, and then he would just have random people pop in at 3:00 in the morning, probably Alec, because he never sleeps. And then, you know, people started hanging out outside of the Discord, and that was really, really cool for me to see, at least, because I was like, look at him go.
Well, yeah. I mean, when you have a Discord, because I do as well. And, you know, whenever there would be just, I think the fun of it is always, of a Discord like server, is always, whether you're not there or even if you are there, just like people just coming in and
being able to see people there.
Yeah, exactly. I think because one of mine, I mentioned before, my friend Christian, who's been on this show before, his friend group is awesome, and I'm glad to be friends with them as well during my later half of high school, and literally every single night, like every night, they're just there at the same time, around like 9-10ish to like 2 a.m.
It's usually when I'm going to bed and I see you guys just all start to pop.
No, not even in my Discord. Well, that too. Yeah, we're always super late. But in a different one.
Oh,
they're just there. The same people. They're always just there. They're playing like League together. They're playing Overwatch together or whatever. They're just doing whatever. And then like, all right, cool, I'm gonna get off. And that's like the most wholesome thing that I've ever been a part of. It's great. I think that's what I aspire for, or any Discord server aspires to be. So that means that we need to play games together again.
Yo, we should play Overwatch 2 together.
I heard it's free.
Played it.
I haven't played it either. I didn't know it was free.
It is. Yeah.
I thought it was just another $60 game, and then $60 game. But then no, now it's going for the free battle pass in-game purchase strat, which is the best strat.
Yeah,
you know. So I'm glad. So we should play some Overwatch.
Yeah,
together.
none of us have played it yet, so it'd be perfect.
You played Alec? Overwatch?
I was booty at the first one, so I don't know.
But you've played it.
Yeah.
But you've played it. Right.
I never played the first one.
The only exposure I have to Overwatch is editing it in 2016.
Yeah.
I think
Perfect.
I think I played like one game in probably 2016, and then I just was like, I like Call of Duty shooter.
I know, right? So I was gonna say I didn't like the idea of like skills and abilities, and then I thought, oh, I guess COD did that too at some point. So I think I still do that. So I guess that's a lie. So I do just need to get on it. Yeah, I'd be down, or just play some CS again, some COD again. I think I was talking with Jackson, just like, yeah, I don't have that actually. I was talking with Jackson though, and it was just like, I think all of us end up like, we want to play games, obviously. However, time gets ahead of us and we don't want to. And then it's after you come up for work and you're tired and stuff. But I think...
I got responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. But I think we just need to do it. You know what I mean?
Plan it
I think
out.
we'll plan it out. And then you guys know how game sessions go. You stay longer than you think you do because you're having fun. Yeah. I think once we get into a Discord call and start playing games and stuff together, or maybe not even play games yet, just get in a Discord call and just hang out and then do other things or whatever.
And then we end up playing CSGO hide and seek, and it ends up literally being one of the funniest things ever.
And then all of a sudden you have Mr. ColeBjack over here bunny hopping all the way around the map, and no one can catch him.
Yeah, I got pretty good at it towards the end. I started to get the hang of it. Can I do it now? Probably not. I don't know. But yeah, I think we definitely need to. I think it'll be fun. It'd be a good palate cleanser, a good night session to just be like, all right, take it easy. You know, it's been a long day. Just take it easy.
It's funny because everyone who is in the room right now, like, you guys make sessions of whatever game we play, whether it's a game that I like playing or not. You guys make it so much fun.
Uno.
Like,
dude, I would kill to play Uno again. Oh my god,
bro! Okay,
I look at my Uno, I'm like, dude, I would love to play Uno again.
I said Uno, and I got the stare of death from Zach. He looked at me just like
he said, "How dare you?
Don't you freaking dare bring that up."
Listen,
I think the funniest stream moments we've all had is from Uno. I think it's so great.
Oh, what's the one clip of when we stacked? Dude, it was like 20-some cards on him.
It was 25 on me.
I remember vividly.
I remember where I was. I remember what I was eating.
I remember what day it was.
I remember what I was wearing.
And then you guys did the same thing to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the fun of Uno, is breaking friendships.
Yeah.
Yeah. Playing CSGO is a lot of fun when none of us give a shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
dude, those 5 stacks just going into like an actual ranked game.
Yeah.
Oh, so much fun.
It is fun.
Do you guys remember I think it was the 4 of us in a lobby together.
We had a rando.
Yeah, we had a rando, and we did the round of knives only.
Yeah. That wasn't a
that wasn't a casual.
That wasn't a casual. That's right.
That was the entire
one of the,
like 20 people in the server.
that was one of the first times we had played CS:GO. I think all 4 of us.
Yeah.
And yeah, we just convinced the entire lobby to use knives only, negevs only, deagles only, and stuff.
Uh-huh.
How? I don't know. And even so much so that when new Randys came, and they like even on the enemy team, if they pulled out an AK or something, the enemy team would vote to kick them. It was great.
It was amazing.
It was a fantastic.
Community at its finest.
I still remember my homie Microsoft Word because his name is so great. I still remember you. Hope you're doing good.
Yeah.
I don't remember what name. I think I was Bill Clinton at that time.
As one is. So,
The names that come to mind are just like random blips in my mind, which are also recorded on my hard drive somewhere, of just random gamer tags being screamed by all of us. Like for some reason, I remember you screaming, Shaquille Oatmeal.
Oh yeah, he was in that lobby. I remember Shaquille Oatmeal or something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, dude, it's so fun to look back, and luckily all of us have footage of it. And
Alec, I still have the footage of your stream that you wanted me to edit down. I still have it, and I found literally the other day I found it. I was like, oh shit. I think I will go through it just for fun, and then I'll let you know. And then,
I remember that one being pretty fucking funny. That's why I wanted to. In my defense, right? Very busy man at the time. I'm no longer an editor, so now I don't care. But it was really funny. I would scrub through it, and every time I would just pick a random point, it was hilarious. It was hilarious. So I'm like, okay, I can do this, and then I never did it. As an editor, that's how it goes.
Yes.
Usually, that's not how it should go. But for COD editors, that is how it goes. But I think that is exactly why we need to maybe not even stream. I mean, I always stream, so maybe I'll be the one who streams or whatever, and then we just game. I think we can do that. I think let's put our hands up, in a collective circle right here. Yeah. Okay, I swear.
I swear
to
play games.
To play games
with each other.
With each other.
Yay. I don't know where I was going.
I feel like I'm in a cult now.
Good.
Dude, you already
Feels
are.
like I was in an AA meeting.
Good.
Hi, Arthur.
Hi, Zach.
Yeah. So CS:GO hide and seek was definitely like one of those ones where we all were dying laughing. Like when I was Siren Head and I threw a Molotov cocktail at you.
That is one of the hardest instances of laughter I've ever had.
When you listen to this without any context, people are like, what the fuck are they talking about? Siren Head threw a Molotov at what? This is a weird creepy pasta.
And then you watch the clip, it is fucking hilarious.
It is. That's what you see what I'm saying? Maybe I should edit that highlight.
Is that the footage that you
I think that is the stream I sent you.
I believe so. Yeah, it was really long, so it was something like that.
I still remember like the main clip of my brain deadedness. Basically, is the when we were talking about assault. I'm like, well, if you add assault to assault, then it's not assault.
That is the stream. I think. I think
it's that same one.
It's the same
but
one.
He saved the freaking clip and sent it to me one day. I'm like, I said that.
You don't know what you say when you're in the late night gaming hours. You just say shit. That's the funniest part.
Yeah, I think that the more that I think about it, the more horrified I am about how much stuff I have of me saying random out-of-pocket shit on the internet.
I think that particular stream I had pre-gamed a little bit, so I was a little tipsy when I went into it. So I was probably like a little more screamy than I am normally.
Well, that's the fun. That's what you gotta do.
And all of us were drinking during that session, I think. And we were all legal age at that point in time.
Yes.
And so it was kind of one of those situations where all of us just thought everything was funny. And then some genuinely funny shit happened and all of us were crying. Like I think it was your stream, Alec. I looked at the stream highlight that you did and I just saw like tears running down your face, and you were like backed away from the microphone because you were like,
there was one point I just had like my head in my hands.
But those are the best. Those are the best times. It's when you're not. Sometimes when you're not a little intoxicated, you wouldn't laugh that hard. And I think the funniest part is when you laugh at the things that aren't that funny. Because it makes it more funny. because once someone says something stupid that isn't even funny, someone laughs because they're laughing. The Discord's laughing.
Someone laughs at how stupid it was. Like, why the hell did you say that? And then everyone starts laughing about it because you're stupid.
Exactly. And that's the fun part. Otherwise, everyone's just like, yeah, okay, dude.
Comedy.
Yes. Let's play video games. At some point. At some point could be whenever, though.
okay,
We'll see.
So I think we need to address the elephant in the room, the topic that we've been talking about for this episode since probably episode 15. I think we need to talk about
15
school.
School. Everybody loves school.
How messed up that was.
Everybody loves school.
You know, I'm
don't know about that.
wondering if we should tell stories of our shenanigans from high school. I feel like that might not go well.
I've been just pick and choose. My high school wasn't like incredibly interesting. I'll be honest.
Oh no, I'm talking about us three.
Yeah.
Oh, you guys? Oh, that's right. 'Cause you guys all hung out in high school. Yeah, I didn't do shit. I just group hopped and then I went to Clark.
So you did pretty good in high school, right? Or you didn't have a problem graduating?
I wouldn't say that. Calculus was really hard.
Okay,
I did
but-
calculus was hard, and then
What I'm saying is you didn't get behind in credits. Like,
no.
No. Okay, so me and Zach definitely did,
Mhm.
and then you ended up getting your GED, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My high school experience was very short-lived and very fun.
Yeah. So it's like, you didn't have the problem of having to not knowing if you were graduating until the week, or even for Zach's case, hours before graduation.
Right.
Hey, listen. It was 3 days.
3 days.
I found out I was graduating high school 3 days before I graduated
3
because
days.
the situation that I found myself in was my first 2 years of high school. I did almost nothing, basically.
Same.
And so then it was second semester my senior year, and I had 3 full credits of stuff I needed to get done.
Mhm.
And so I did what what any sane teenager would do. I cheated.
Mhm.
And I ended up getting through all my credit recovery stuff, and then I found out I was graduating because of my English final. I think I needed like an 80% on my English final to be able to graduate.
Mhm.
And then I did it. I have a high school diploma, which I guess means something to someone somewhere.
Yeah.
Dude, I'll be honest. I absolute cheated and like took every little corner I could to cut through school and to graduate on time.
Mm.
So I moved to half my schooling online my sophomore year.
Mm.
And in my sophomore year, I somehow got lucky in the class that I was in to do my online work. There was a gal in there who was just devoting time to students to help them graduate.
Mhm.
And she would sit there and basically just tell me the answers
Right,
for
right.
every single one of my tests going through Apex.
Nice.
Because the way Apex worked is that you had like a little lesson briefing thing and then you take a test on it. But everyone just sits there and then goes through the test. And then you have 3 tries.
Right.
And if you don't get it, you get it unlocked and you get another 3 tries. It's weird. But I did that all like the entire sophomore year and got through those classes.
Mhm.
And then when junior year came around, they realized what she was doing. So she wasn't allowed to be back anymore to that.
Damn.
So I had to figure out how to do it on my own, which like you should.
Mhm.
I found out a way that I don't know if any of you guys noticed, but I would actually no, you guys wouldn't have noticed because you would have been graduated. So my senior year of 2019, you were no longer allowed to inspect element on any of the school computers.
Ooh.
Because the online kids figured out with Apex, you can go into inspect element.
The answers would be there.
And the answer to all your quiz questions would just pop up as you refresh. So I just sat there and boop, 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 and got through classes just like that, which I don't know if you ever figured that out. That would have been your senior year.
That's pretty smart. That is pretty smart. I never thought to use Inspect Help. Kids don't do that.
Yeah, well, you can't do it anymore.
Right.
They also use different programs now.
Oh, I'm sure it's more hardcore now.
Yeah. Now they're on a different thing that I think it's called like Edgenuity or something like that.
So what I ended up doing was
The old-fashioned.
back in my time, back when I was flunking out of high school.
The old-fashioned Google.
They had what was it?
Quizlet.
Quizlet.
Oh,
Quizlet was the first one I was using.
I used that to cheat through a biology course in WSU. That was good.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, so I used Quizlet, and then I think there was another one like Brainly or something like that.
Yeah,
and the people who made these were such
They're
homies.
heroes. They are actual heroes.
Bro, they straight up would have like the course number of the course that you were in, and then it would also have like
word for word, same questions.
Yes.
And same answers.
I don't know how, but it just was.
Yeah.
Nor do I know how they haven't gotten shot down.
they probably have now, but
Maybe.
like,
But back then, no, they were not shot down for a solid like 5-6 years. Like they just stood there for the test of time just to help homies out.
yeah, that was insane. And yeah, I mean, talking about credit recovery is interesting because I remember it so vividly, but at the same time, I don't remember most of it because most of it was like I had 2 monitors at home. And so one would just be Google Chrome with the Quizlet and like everything like that. Or if you highlighted the entire question and put it into Google, I'm sure you'd be able to find the answer. And then of course I would have the actual quiz and stuff. But yeah, dude, I spent so much time just like basically bending over the educational system.
Yep. That's basically what I did. Dude, my senior year, I'm behind in classes. And I found out that if you do good enough on your state testing, they can give you credit recovery classes from your score. I hit the sand.
It's okay.
So I was supposed to retake, I think, 3 or 4 freaking English classes online my senior year. And I hard studied for my exam and was able to get a full like credit and a half of English waived from it. So I only had to do 2 English classes of recovery. Which there was that. On top of that, you would think if I'm behind, you would think that I wouldn't be able to get out of school early or have a 6 period off or anything like that. I found out that you can do work-based learning, which is where if you have a job, you can leave for your 6th period and you basically get credit for working, but then you get to leave every single day. So what I would do is I would get into my 4th period class, which was math. I would ask for the assignment just at the start.
Right.
And I would go through the assignment when she's going through it. So I'd be done. I'm like, all right, can I go to the band room? As soon as I finished, she would always let me. And then I would just go to my 5th period teacher and be like, hey, is the assignment up on Google Docs? Because that's where she always had it up, or the classroom.
Yeah.
And then I would just go to the library, do that really quick. 5th period comes around. I just go in there, say hi, say I'm here, go in the band room. And then I just leave. So I'd have like all 5th and 6th period off. And I only worked like 2 days a week. So like, dude, I was off at like 4th period most of the time.
That's pretty good.
And, dude, yeah. There's so many ways that you're able to move around.
Something I remember very vividly is you started riding scooters going into your senior year.
Yeah.
So like 2019. And what I remember is on my days off work, you would be like, hey, yo, do you want to meet me at the skate park? And it was like 1 p.m. And I'm like, how the fuck?
Or we had late starts on Wednesdays.
Oh, yeah.
So I would go to jazz band because that's a normal time. And then we would have an hour and a half. I can't remember what it was. And I would go to the skate park in that time. And it was stupid. In order to, if you were there on campus, you couldn't leave even for the hour. So I had my mom write a note to let me off campus every single Tuesday night. So that Wednesday morning came around, I could go to the office and get a off-campus pass.
She was okay with that?
Yeah. Dude, and then like a month and a half into it, finally the office lady was like, listen, just have her write it for every single Wednesday, and then we'll give you an off-campus pass for the year to do that. It's like, Finally,
Nice.
let's go.
Nice.
So yeah, there'd be times that I'd only be at school for 4.5 hours while still redoing classes.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty good.
Wish I knew about this shit so I didn't just give up.
I think you just have to be creative because that's just not something they're going to tell you to do.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like you find the workarounds, right? You find. I know.
You read the fine print.
Oh man, this is my freshman year. There was this guy who sat next to me, bless his heart, but homie was just not having it. Came in, always smelled like weed, and first period geometry, I think it was geometry or whatever.
Zach?
No.
Zach or me?
No, you could tell he's like, homie was just like, man, he wasn't rude or anything. Like he was never rude to the teacher. He was just like, I don't really care.
Yeah, there's always those kids.
Yeah, and then the teacher would sit down and just like honestly just walk him through it. I think a lot of it, it sounds really bad to say this, but they will hold your hand for a lot of things in high school if you show that you need that.
Yeah.
So I think in high school there's always just this is what needs to be done, and then 99% of the people are going to do what needs to be, or maybe like 90% of the people are going to do what needs to be done.
Yeah.
And for the 10%, it's like, okay, well, how do I work around it to reach the end goal by taking, instead of from A to B, I take A to C to B. You know what I mean? And that's not something that I necessarily found, but I mean, maybe I did because I did Clark, and then I was able to, although I took college level classes, they weren't that hard. So I was able to have a lot of time, a lot of free period off, and I have a lot of like do college courses and high school, that type of stuff. But that didn't mean it sucked or didn't suck. It still sucked, but it's whatever. I think the only reason why I wasn't almost able to graduate, I think I mentioned it before, but since it's a timely episode, me as well. Calculus sucks. I don't think you need me to tell you that, even though you guys probably never took it. Calculus sucks.
It sucks. I had to take it for schooling.
The only thing calculus is looking at sheets of formulas and numbers and memorizing them so you can pass a test. That's what calculus is.
Isn't that what all of school is?
Yes, but that's what calculus really is, because there is no way. I literally spent before the AP test, because there's AP calculus. You take an AP test. I don't know if that's how it goes nationwide, but that's how you would get the credits for that class as well as college credits, right?
Yeah.
And literally the only reason why I passed, I mean, I did the homework for the most part. Sometimes I didn't really do it. And the reason why I wasn't able to graduate is because at that time I was editing COD and shit. And I was like, dude, this is going to be my future. It's going to be and to be fair, it was a window of opportunity, because even though at the time that was when Red Anuki was happening and it was part of an organization, I could have kept editing. And even if Red dropped, as long as I had continued to put my all into it, I could have landed somewhere else. And I could have been an editor. Maybe not necessarily for COD, but just an editor. It could have happened. And I decided that as a 17, 18-year-old kid, I was like, this is going to be my future. And because of that, I stopped caring about school. I stopped doing my homework and stuff. I just went to my room and started editing every single day. And then, parent-teacher conference came, and then my teacher looked at me, my parents looked at me, and you're like, you guys, you're fucking shit. And I'm like, I know. And then towards the end of the year, I had to bust my ass to do all the makeup work and everything just so I can pass that damn class. And it sucked ass.
Oh,
Okay.
I remember, dude, I had to take a freshman science class my senior year.
Oh, so did I. I had to take freshman health my senior year.
Oh, yeah.
One
Family
thing.
health. Yeah.
Yeah.
Did I take that? I feel like I took that. I think
You
I
had to.
I think I did, yeah, because I did SST.
So one thing that I remember that just absolutely lit a fire under my ass was, it was probably like January of 2018. I had 6 Apex classes I needed to do. And basically what they said, like, they were trying to start signing me up for like summer school classes my senior year. And they were like, on the course that you're going right now, you're not going to graduate. And I was like, fuck, I'm not. And literally it was just purely out of spite. And I told them to not sign me up for summer school classes because I was going to get everything done. And then miraculously I did somehow. Jackson,
Dude.
you remember how stressed I was during that time,
but
right?
also the same thing happened to me, except it wasn't a school person. It was my freaking dad. My dad looked me dead in the eye, and to this day, he doesn't remember saying this, but he looked at me and he's like, dude, I don't think you're going to graduate on time. Like when we were looking, it was like going into my senior year, I think. or like halfway through my junior year or something like that.
Mhm.
He just looked me straight in the eyes. Just, I don't think you're going to graduate on time. All right, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that. It's just one push from one person.
Yeah.
I think that's. I think maybe it's depending on the person. They may not tell you that, or they try to water it down. Sometimes you just hear it.
But
You're not gonna
sometimes you just need it.
You do need to hear it.
But yeah, it does, dude. It creates an insane amount of anxiety with you just to
Dude,
get that amount of stuff done.
Because we were hanging out at this time, and I was so stressed all of the time.
That was the only time your mom told me not to come over.
Yeah. Wait, I don't even remember that happening.
Mm-hmm.
God, that's terrifying.
That is terrifying.
Yeah.
Don't tell your friend to come over. Whoa, mom!
But mom!
Which is funny because
wanna
I'm like
play
the
video
favorite
games.
kid too.
Yeah. My parents like him more than they like me. And I feel like that's kind of how it is with like most of my friends. They're like, I'll take him.
That's not true. But at the same time, it's also, okay, yeah, we like this kid. We know if this kid comes over, Zach's not doing shit. So
I think that's how it was with Alec and I. Like when we first started hanging out super consistently, it was during the summer. I think it was probably like summer 2017. Yeah, because Rock Academy. That's what it was. It was because of Rock Academy.
Oh, Rock Academy?
And so
Wait, you mentioned it, huh? Way back. Yeah.
So Rock Academy was basically through our local music shop, Music World.
Music World.
Shout out.
Yeah.
You don't work there anymore. Shut
I
up.
still love them, all right.
So they
Fuck B-Cock gang.
Don't be
Those
a
are
cock.
fighting words.
Alec here just pulls out, just rips apart his shirt and it's like a B-Cock tattoo on his chest. How dare you?
Dude, sorry to cut you off really quick. I still remember you were going to buy stuff from freaking Sweetwater and do a big order of stuff. Dude, I was judging you so hard because I was like, dude, I can get all the stuff at the store and get you a discount. Come on, just let me.
I wish I knew you then. I bought my YPD at Sweetwater and I financed it.
That's why he was wanting to do.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So Rock Academy was basically through Music World. They had it was for middle school and high schoolers, and basically it was
Academy of Rock.
yeah
School of Rock.
we got together and basically we got to go and do some gigs. Like we played at the Clark County Fair. We played at Billy Blues Bar and Grill. That was really fun. And then we did a couple other gigs, but
The Billy Blues gigs were always the best ones. I feel like. Just because, yeah.
And I
It's a
would
good
assume you guys
atmosphere.
played rock, classic rock, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Weirdly
a lot of ska because we had a horn section.
Oh, fun.
actually,
that's the only reason I was there.
ska. Like, actually.
Who doesn't like ska?
Yeah, I love Skok.
My dad.
Skok. I love Skok.
Your
Yeah.
dad doesn't?
No, he hates it. It's funny.
Wow, freaking loser.
I'll play it in the car and piss him off.
Yeah, and
That's fine.
So one day I remember very, very vividly. So you and I were hanging out. We stayed up all night. Went to the skate park at 6 o'clock in the morning. I was just scooting around doing my thing. You were hanging out. I don't know what the fuck you were doing, but
Half alive.
Hanging out.
you're like, I need more Red Bull. and we decided to park in the back of Music World and take a nap. And this was in my BMW in the middle of August. And so when we got there, it was probably like 65 degrees. We had all the windows rolled down and it was great. And then I just wake up and it's probably like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. And I am just like stuck to my leather seat, just drenched in sweat. Looked like I just came back from running a marathon. And Alec was nowhere to be found. Like straight up, he was gone.
And homie fucking left.
He was like, fuck
never
this
existed.
shit, I'm out.
I need some pods.
He said, wait, did I have a friend named Alec? What happened?
How did I get here? And so my phone was dead. I had no idea what time it was. I barely knew what my last name was at that point in time. And so I was just like I was wandering around trying to find this fucker. I went to Chevron that's right across the street. He wasn't there. And then I walk into Music World and he's just sitting there playing a 12 string. And I'm like, where the fuck? What?
That would have been my first guess.
Yeah, honestly.
I just woke up before you and I didn't want to just sit in the car because it was 90 degrees.
It was a sauna in the car.
It was.
Yeah. I
Nice.
just, when I look around the room, I just think of like a whole bunch of dumb shit that we've all done together,
Nice.
independently and together.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
this is like the first
youth.
time that all four of us are together, like IRL.
Mm-hmm.
So
That sounds so cringe
Yeah.
saying because especially when we all went to the same school. But it is funny because I mentioned, we were all for technical. Well, at least for me, I'm technically. You guys all knew each other. I didn't. It was like in an IRL basis.
yeah.
So this is cool. This is a good opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
This is now a therapy session. Just say shit. Say your shit.
Shit.
So
Shit.
we talked about our school. How did your school go, Alec? How did your vibe in school go?
I think I only paid attention in one class.
Mhm. So how many years did you do? Two. Right.
He had a hot teacher in that class.
Yes.
Mm.
I'm surprised you remember me telling you about that.
Well, that's why I was staying.
Yeah, that was the only class I got like a B in. The rest was all Fs.
Right. So, but you did pass your freshman year,
Yeah.
or did you get held back?
No, I was a sophomore,
Okay.
but I went
What type of class did you take? Do
just
you
all
remember the
the
electives?
no, just all the basic ones, and then I did choir,
Mm.
and that's it.
Mm. You didn't do band then?
Uh-uh.
Mm. Too cool for band?
Lame.
Yes.
You said I'm not being out
No, I
there
just
in
did,
the
I just did
stands.
choir because my brother was in it.
Right.
I was forgetting about that.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. As someone like I mean, I was there freshman, sophomore year, but I never did anything. Then it was only, ironically, I did more things than I did track in junior and senior year, but I also did running stars. So I went to Clark, so I was never there. But I would just like walk around. I think the first time I went to the band room was, I'm pretty sure senior. No, that's a lie. Sophomore year for ASL. But that was the first time I went to the band room, and then the second time I went to the band room was the last time I went to the band room, which was senior year. I was like, whoa, cool. And then we went to next door, and there was a choir room. I was like, we have a choir room.
I lived in that band room.
That's cool. I wish, bro.
Dude,
I would have played on the damn piano. I was so into piano back then. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's all I could think of. And then when I found out that we had a grand piano, I don't even remember what it was, probably like a Wolfshauser or something. And I was like, dude, why did I not know we had one?
It's a Yamaha.
Was it a Yamaha?
Yeah.
Prairie doesn't have a Yamaha. We don't have Yamaha money.
Yeah, it's a Yamaha Grand.
Cheapest one.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Probably.
Donated.
Yeah, they keep it up though. They work
Do
on
they?
it quite a bit. Yeah,
Mm.
they have a guy that comes in about every 3 months.
That's good. The one in WSU, there was never touched. No, that's a lie. I got touched once, but before I got touched, was like way before anybody could even count. So
Yeah, no.
when I first came in on my first year of college, and I was like, "Ooh, it's a grand piano. I gotta play it whenever I want." And I played it, and it was out of tune. It's like, I'm like, and then me also like, yes.
Yeah. The piano is like the only thing that Prairie actually puts money into when it comes to the arts.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah,
got it.
because that's like a $10,000 piano.
Yeah, they
You
actually
got
use it quite a bit
Yeah, it's
too.
a stage piano. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so funny because that piano lives in a coffin, like
Mhm.
straight up. It lives in a wooden sarcophagus.
Mhm.
And so every single time we would go to perform or anything like that, obviously we would use the grand because why the fuck would we have a grand if we weren't going to use it to perform?
Mhm.
And it would take like 5 little high schoolers to fucking
It
move
is
this
a
thing.
bitch and a half to get that thing out of the coffin. I did it with Kobe Lloyd, just me and him, one time.
Just
Dude,
you two?
It sucks,
God damn.
dude. It is
Is there a reason why you don't just leave it out?
it collects dust, stuff gets hit. If you put it in the coffin, there's a lot of stuff moving around back there.
Mhm. That's true, actually. Yeah,
It
you're right.
doesn't
you're right.
get damaged,
Okay.
in which it still gets damaged somehow.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean,
Understandable.
I'm
Have a
not
nice day.
surprised
Mhm.
that it still gets damaged even in a coffin. But
Yeah.
yeah, oh my gosh, dude. I just realized that I'm pretty sure I've been in like almost every single room in Prairie.
I haven't. For sure not.
And like I went up above the stage to the catwalk
Yeah.
up there. I also went up on the roof through the catwalk.
Oh, I was on the roof. That was fun. I did it for a video shoot. That was fun. They let us on the roof. Scary as shit. It's so slippery up there. I don't know why they let a bunch of kids up there. It had rained before, and there was like 5 of us. We were shooting a fight scene for a video production class. So much fun. I got to choreograph it. It was hilarious, by the way. And while we were up there, we're like, it was so slippery. And then you're like, yeah, we'll just let some teenagers up there. Yeah, sure. Liability, no, it's fine.
I slipped up there when I went up there my freshman year with a few people, and then we got caught and ran off.
So how would you go about getting up there?
There, you can climb on the dumpsters on the back.
Okay, so
and then
that's
you
what I
can get on
figured.
top of the roof from there.
Yeah. Well, we want the legit way.
Yeah.
We go the delinquent way.
No, dude, I think there's only one room in all of Prairie that I actually have never been in. It was the principal's office, because I've been in the vice principal's office a few times, but I was never in the actual principal's office.
I was in there for a video shoot as well.
Oh.
Most of my time was spent either in the commons or the choir room or in the practice rooms.
Yeah,
and
that's fair.
that was basically it.
You know, I had a key, janitor's key for a while, right?
Yeah, some people got that shit.
No, I found
Just on the floor. Gimme.
I was
How
in-
the fuck?
So I was in the band room after school one day playing
Mhm.
games and everything. Not games.
Games.
I
Slacking.
was just playing on pianos in practice room or something like that.
Mhm.
And the janitor had come through and was cleaning everything and put his keys down on the table in Methling's office for a sec.
He said, yoink. Yoink, gimme.
Basically.
That's funny.
Because I knew it was the 501 key. And that key unlocked about 80% of the keys in this of the doors in the school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had asked him to borrow it for a sec because I needed to go unlock something while he was doing something.
Mhm.
He's like, I knew him. It was
Mhm.
Ariel.
Oh, I love Ariel.
Yeah.
Great homie, actual homie.
I was like, hey, I need to continually open up the store back and forth for like next 15 minutes. Can I borrow this key? He said, yeah. And then I went to go give it back to him. He said, yeah, just put it on the table. And then I
Just
went,
never grabbed
I
it.
never grabbed it. About 30 minutes later, all of a sudden I walked back over there to where he put it, and he was just sitting there. I'm like, well, this is mine. Dude, and I used it for a few months just to get in the band room early. That's literally all I used it for.
Good boy.
And then I lost it. I don't know where it went. It's somewhere in my house.
We gotta search your house.
Which, I mean, I'll be moving here soon.
That's true.
Or with
Every nook and cranny. Mom, Dad, don't ask. But if you find a set of keys,
if you
let me know.
if you find a key that's like a don't duplicate and it says 501 written on it, give me that key. I know where it goes to.
I didn't have a key like that. I wasn't that cool. But what I did do was the same Yamaha Grand on the at WSU. At some point, they started locking it. Because I mean, I think you should, because it's a public grand piano for vandalism reasons. I understand, right?
Yeah.
But so I should explain again, because it's been a while since I explained. So in WSU, there's this lecture hall and there's the Yamaha Baby Grand. I don't know, it's like a 510, 511 grand. It was cute and it was fun. And what would happen is it's public. People can play it. So you would just kind of walking around and you would hear it, and then you can stop by. Sometimes the doors open, you can hear it. And what would happen was the same people kept coming back to play it. So, including me. So we formed this unofficial piano club, and we were all cool with each other. And we would just come by and just play piano and talk about music and shit. Everyone was playing classical music. I didn't know any classical music. I felt uncultured. I was playing my anime openings, but it was fun. It was so wholesome. And then we would just like teach each other things and just talk about music. It was awesome. And at one point they started locking it, as they should, yes.
Yeah.
And we'd have to open it, we'd have to go to student resources or human resources and ask for the key. Sometimes it's locked because there's a meeting or something.
Yeah.
And by sometimes, I mean like 9 out of 10 times. You would think that a human resources office would not be locked, but it's locked. So we're like, fuck. Well, let's think about it. How can we get a key? Well, it turns out these keys are universal.
Every single Yamaha key is exactly the same.
Exactly. So I went on eBay and I found it, and I bought that shit for like $30. Way too expensive for a key, but it's whatever, I guess. And I was like, look what I got. Look what I can provide for the boys.
Right.
And I hid that shit inside that big ass lecture hall. I want to go back and see if it's been found. It's in such a good spot you would never guess. The janitor never found it. I was cool with the janitor, but this is not a high school janitor, so he's like, I'm not giving you a fucking key.
Yeah.
But he did let me in sometimes. But it's because sometimes he would just come by like super late at night because I had night classes, and I would meet him, and he would be going to clean the lecture hall. And I'm like, yeah, I'll leave the door open. I'm like, fuck yeah, dad. But otherwise, he wouldn't let me have the key. So that was the only time I can get locked out of the lecture hall, but that's like super late at night. Otherwise, if we want to play the piano, guys, I got y'all. It's tiny key. It looks kind of like the key that this kind of novelty anime key that I have, because it's not really like a keyed key, but I don't know. It's weird, right? You look at this key and you're like, dude, I can probably pick this with like a toothpick.
So so because I was working at Music World, I had a key to one of our display cabinets / all the locks on like our certain guitars. That key worked at all the locked guitars at Beacox and Guitar Center as well, because it is all from the same company and we all use the same person. So I was able to go like Beacox. I hate that they do this. I understand why they do this, but it's stupid. They lock every single guitar. So if you want to play one guitar, anyone, you have to go and ask someone to unlock it.
Lame.
It's annoying. Yeah, because like lame. I want to go in there. I want to play this $800 guitar.
Yeah.
I don't want to have to go, hey, can I play this guitar? Yeah, I'll be there over in just a second. I'll finish this.
There's that one guy running the store, and there's like,
exactly. So for a sec there, I had that key on my keychain, so I was able to do that. And
no, for sure.
I got caught at Beacox just unlocking it one day.
Well, I would be pretty, as a Beacock employee, watching some kid start unlocking some of my guitars. I would be a little, I'd be shocked too. I'd be like, whoa. You'd be like, whoa, I'm cool, bro.
I explained to him, I'm like, I work at one of the other music stores, and I just have the key. He's like, don't do it. It's like, okay, fine.
That's funny.
I just never go back.
Yeah.
Screw that place.
Yeah, you're like, that's when I started at Guitar Center.
And that's when my Beacock hate started.
But no, it's funny because like all these big manufacturers that have like their little keys for your locked cases and stuff like that, dude, it's all the same key.
Right.
It's insane. Freaking all of the trombone cases, trumpet cases, clarinet cases from Jupiter all have the same key. It's horrible. I mean, like, bad, I get it. Like, no one really even locks those stuff anyways.
It's more of like you may as well have it than not.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, yeah, most people aren't going to just have that type of key on them. But it's still like, really, you guys can be kind of.
It is a little silly, but I mean, to be fair, I never do unless you never told me.
Yeah.
So I guess it's kind of like there's a lock. I just won't question it any further.
Yeah.
You know, whether other than like more than I guess, then the crafty people will be like, I bet I could buy this key.
Yeah.
I bet I could take some resin and mold a key from this keyhole.
Meslin also gave me a key to all the lockers in the band room my senior year.
Whoa.
Because I was the one that was fixing all the freaking little locker things every time they broke. Or I had one full locker or thing all to myself because of all the stuff I had. So I would just lock it.
Right.
I'm pretty sure I got pretty close. I think I had the bottom shelf and then the middle one, and then the top one was just full of random shit.
I see. There's the school guitar. I have my guitar usually there, and then I have my trombone, baritone, and trumpet. I had all 5 of those there. So I just took up an entire freaking shelf.
And that snare drum.
I have one of Perry's snare drums. I took it home and I started using it, and then
I said, "Gimme."
I just still have it. They never used it.
That's funny,
dude. They got it with a new drum set, and then they used the old snare drum from the other drum set because it sounds so much better. And this one went into a shelf. And in the 2 years that we had that drum set, I never saw that snare drum used once. So I was like, I'll just borrow it for a bit. And then I never returned it.
Right. Well, I mean, they don't need it.
I forgot.
About like your baritone.
Oh, okay.
What have you done, Zach?
So, you see, what had happened was, dude, Jackson, just watch. We're going to get a call from some people at the school.
Yeah.
I'm actually in cahoots with the principal. So you guys are fucked.
So I ended up borrowing a baritone from Prairie, and I was trying to fix it. And basically,
he wanted to learn first.
Yeah. So I wanted to learn how to play it. And then I ended up accidentally on baritones they have 3 or 4 valves, I ended up accidentally like switching the valves around, which if you don't know, that makes it so that it's a little fucky wucky.
It makes no noise.
Yeah,
Okay.
literally it does nothing. And so
I got the fucky wucky part. That's all I need to know.
yeah, it was very fucky wucky. And so basically, I didn't know how to fix it because what I tried to do is I just tried like every arrangement of the valves that I could think of. And then by that point, I was thoroughly fucked. And I basically just kind of gave up and it lived in my room for 3 years.
No, he took this when we had our old band director.
Okay.
What's his name?
Gidry.
Oh
fuck, I forgot that I got it from him.
yeah. So that was going into your sophomore year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cut forward until my senior year, which is 4 years later.
Yeah.
I'm at his place, and all of a sudden I started looking at this baritone, and I had just done inventory with our band director, and realized that we had a few instruments missing. One of them was a baritone, and I remembered he had it, and then also I started looking on it, and it says PHS right there on the case. I'm like, Zach. This is schools, isn't it? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. So I ended up taking it back to the school. This is like almost the end of the year. I walk in with this baritone, and Masseline looks at me like, "That's not your baritone. Where the heck did you get a baritone from? What the heck is that?" I'm like, "Well, Zach's had this for 4 years." He looks. It's in the middle. It's like start of jazz band,
right?
And he looks at me, and he's just like, "What do you mean he's had it for 4 years?" I'm like, he just had it for 4 years. Here you go. It's back. Does it work? No. And then know what the stupid part was? Guess who had to fix it when it came into Music World later that summer?
Shit.
Love you.
Wait, so there's 3 valves, and what you're saying is it has to be in a certain order?
Yeah,
Correct.
so there's holes drilled into those valves.
Sure.
And they go to specific areas
Sure.
to lead from one pipe to another. If you put it in the wrong one, it's not like the entry hole isn't going to match up anymore.
There's 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
So that means there's
The first valve goes in first
18.
valve.
There's 18 possibilities. Zach, did you give up at 17?
Probably.
No, 27
Well, see,
possibilities.
what it was, I remember this because I was so pissed off. When I took it apart, it was missing it. So in these valves, to make sure they line up, they have a keyway, and
Sure,
they have
sure.
a little key guide on there
Mhm.
that sits on top of the valve. All of the keyways were gone. The little thing to actually guide it. Somehow you lost those.
I don't think they were ever there.
They had to have. So at some point when you took it apart and started trying to put it back together, you lost those keys or the little freaking pads making sure it goes in. So those things were just spinning in the pistons. So there's no way for it to line up.
And
they
they fell out, and Zach goes, "Oh,
So
what is this?"
that 1 in 18 chance of getting it right is now times by like
18.
360 because there's you can spin it the full way around.
So
I think
okay.
it was only on 2 of them.
So that does make me feel a little bit better.
Yeah.
Because now I don't feel like as much of a dipshit because I couldn't figure out how to get 3 valves to work.
Bruh, seeing some of the instruments that come in to that back from a school year, it's like, how the heck did this happen?
I feel bad.
Teenagers. Teenagers do funny things.
The sousaphone that I used for Pep Band.
We had the mellophone, so the big tuba that we have.
Mhm.
It went to the store 3 times in 1 month to get fixed. No, it wasn't a mellophone. It was the nice tuba we had. It literally went to the store while I was working there 3 times in 1 month because kids kept either dropping it, misplacing it, or did something. So the first time was for it had to get all the dents taken out of the bell.
Mm-hmm.
Take it back to the school, and somebody freaking went to oil one of those valves and freaking just jammed it in like sideways or something and broke it and then bent the casing. So then that had to get fixed, and then it gets back, and first thing someone does is put it on the freaking bell and then lean against it and bends in the bell again. So 3 times in 1 month, I have seen this thing at the store, and both Andy, I, and Masseline are freaking livid about it. And yeah, only one person got to use that instrument afterwards.
Of course.
So I think the important thing to remember is that you know how expensive musical instruments are.
Yes. I don't know a lot about musical instruments. I just know that there's a lot of zeros involved.
This
Correct.
tuba is 10 grand.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Fucking hell. I would never let teenagers touch that. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I played it. It was a very wonderderful sounding instrument.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I would let y'all play it. I wouldn't let Jimmy
the freshman.
Jimmy freshman.
There's
I want to learn how to play the tuba.
There's
I'm
2 school
4'7".
tubas, and we had 2 tuba players in each one, so it had to be used.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
One of them was like a POS though.
Yeah. Which actually, when it got working, it sounded freaking amazing. But it was making it work and then getting it to stay working.
So it was really interesting. It had you know, on a French horn how they have like the rotary valves.
Yeah.
So this tuba had rotary valves, and it was super interesting, and it felt really weird to play. And I think it's so funny because like I'm a sax player, but also I played the tuba
Sure.
for no fucking reason. I actually
So are they? No, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
So the silver sousaphone that I used for like all of Pep Band, because like no one else wanted to use it because it was so fucking heavy. I marched in a 3-mile parade with that thing, and I have never experienced such pain in my entire life. So I ended up borrowing that sousaphone the summer going into my senior year.
Yeah.
And I just kind of was like, hey, Messling, can I borrow the sousaphone? And he was like, yeah, sure. How long do you want it for? I was like, I don't know. And then he just never asked for it back until the school year started.
Yeah.
But yeah, that shit was heavy. Like, Jesus.
Zach comes back in the school year. I brought the sousaphone back.
I'm just like,
it's one ping it. I brought it back. So if I can, as a rhythm guitar player for 12 years of my life, I don't know anything about any other, like the way the other instruments work. So if you, for example, played, I don't know, the maybe not the trombone, or maybe so, like the tuba, for example. Are you able to theoretically understand and play a trumpet as well?
yeah, it's basically exactly the same.
So the thing that changes is how you read the music.
Sure. Oh, really?
So the lower instruments, so you got trombone, baritone, tuba, all those lower instruments, they read in bass clef, which
sure.
In piano it's
Akif.
It's on different lines.
Or Akif.
But when you go to trumpet or some forms of baritone, and like all in cornets and stuff like that, that's all in treble clef.
Okay.
So you just have to learn to read it, but all the notes are played technically the same.
Okay.
So like when I was on baritone, depending on the piece, I had either treble clef or bass clef. So you just had to learn how to read it, which is weird because if you're reading bass clef, your instrument is in C standard. But if you're reading in treble clef, your instrument is in B flat standard. Yeah. So it's freaking weird.
That is weird.
Yeah.
But you're still tuned in B flat though, right?
Yep. It's annoying.
me looking at my tabs.
Yeah, concert pitch is a whole freaking thing that is stupid.
I know when I was in middle school jazz band, whenever we had sight reading competitions, that was when I was the most scared in my entire life.
I still hate
Oh my God.
For me, it was way easier in general because I was a rhythm section player. I just had to memorize the chords and play them. Problem is I didn't memorize the chords. And I also didn't know what these 7s and 9s meant because I'm 10 and I don't care. So whenever we would do it, like there's like a C major flat fifth flat 7 or some bullshit like that, right? I'll just play it.
No, that's a normal chord.
I'll just play C major. Yeah. I would do that all the time, and then the judges, I would know. Looking back at it now, I know the judges like this kid played a fucking C.
This motherfucker played a C major scale.
I love how you're like, yeah, it's like a C sharp minor 7/9 flat 5. I'm sitting here like, okay, what's weird about that?
The reason, okay, listen here, bud. You're not wrong.
Bad.
That stuff made no sense. Well, nowadays when I play piano, it makes sense to me. But when I was
when you first learn it, it's
yeah.
why is there a lot more freaking numbers and letters in this chord?
Could I do it off the top of my head still? No, not really, because I don't play that much anymore. But what the scariest part of that was whenever we would finish our songs and such, and the judges would come out and he would look at me and he would start talking to me about the guitar and stuff, and I would just be like, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'll do that for next time. and then I just walk off. I'm like, yeah, cool. Thank fucking God. And I would throw up in the bathroom.
Felt. Yeah. When I was in band, I played bass, so I only had to deal with root notes. So
you played bass?
Guys. Yeah.
Cool. Was this middle school?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So jazz band, or just
regular
band. Fun. So. It's been a while since we talked about it. I know you mentioned that you really wanted to get into music production. Has that gone anywhere at all? Have you produced or anything recently of time?
In spare time. But other than that, no. I've just been working.
Sure. Is it something you still want to do?
Yes.
Can we just make a record together?
Oh yeah, we were talking about that last time. Jackson was here. Let's just record a song. Well, okay. We'd have to. I don't know. We'd have to figure it out, but I think it could happen. But
honestly, I think it would just take all of us being in a room together. Like this with a piano and maybe a guitar or two.
We have plenty of microphones and mixers, so we have enough.
And between us two, we have a lot of guitars we can choose from,
and basses and pianos.
Yes. Speaking of which, I got a bass now.
Oh, is it as shitty as mine is?
No, it's a Charvel 5-string.
Fuck you.
I also have a White Falcon on the way.
Oh my!
I want to rob your house.
Confessions.
It's fine. It's not like it's a $4,800 guitar.
Oh yeah, you know where I live, anyways.
Yeah,
I'm gonna rob it. I'll rob it back. Speaking of robbery,
what?
That's a segue and a half.
I don't know where I'm gonna segue with that. I just wanted to use that word.
Oh, so, I bought more camera shit.
You did buy more camera. That is robbery.
Yeah.
Although the pictures are hella cool.
They are.
Oh, that's true. Oh, I forgot to even fucking talk about any of that. Yeah. So I ended up buying a new chunky boy. For those of you who actually give a shit, it's a 70 to 200 f2.8.
Huh?
My pussy is cracking. It's so dry.
and so when we went to the beach yesterday, I just whipped it out and I was taking some pictures.
What?
I said what I said.
I whipped it out. I also grabbed my camera.
Whipped it out at the beach?
Whipped it out and took pictures with my new camera.
I said what I said. Yeah, and the pictures ended up turning out really cool. Where the fuck was I going with that?
No, that's cool.
That's cool.
That's cool. It's expensive.
It takes really good pictures, which if any of you guys want to see it, it's on my Instagram and his Instagram.
Oh, yeah.
ColeBennett24 and
hey, it's not plug. It's not shameless plug. Only I'm allowed to shameless plug. Don't do that. How dare you? On our damn show. How dare you?
Twitch.tv/Anuki Deo.
Thank you.
Instagram at ColeBennett24.
Hey. We do it at the end of the show. Haven't you seen interviews? One thing I wanted to bring up though. I want to talk about this because this is the timely episode. And just kind of overall thoughts of school, because like I think all of us have our own opinions as far as like how school is ran in general.
Yeah.
Because I'm going back to school after 3 years and I am not enjoying it in the slightest. Why am I doing it? It's because my parents are Asian and I have to get a degree, otherwise I'll get kicked out. And I'll probably get kicked out anyways. So hopefully this house starts coming in. So I can but you know, the more I think as we get older, it helps to have a more of an opinion of school rather than just I hate school because you're a teenager. I just hate school. I don't want to do school. And then you get work experience. You started thinking. I mean, you still probably hate school like I do, but you think of it more objectively rather than just school is lame.
So I mean, it's so hard because when you talk about continuing education, there are like 3 camps that you usually will see. Go to school and get a degree. It doesn't matter what you go on to do. Go to school, get a bachelor's degree. Fucking, you need it for things and stuff. Those people. And then you have the people who are like, fuck school. I don't want to do school. You know, this is bullshit. They're just trying to take your money. Then there's that people. And then there's the people in the middle who are like, if you find something that you want to do that requires a continued education, then you should go do it. And I kind of sit.
The correct answer is the middle option.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah. we're getting there.
We're getting there. There's this thing we have to build up to.
So yeah, I'm in the middle where it's kind of
climax fast.
Whoa.
Premature, baby.
what the fuck?
W. Dubs all around.
GG.
You guys are just making my brain melt. So yeah, I sit in the middle. I'm kind of like, I don't really want to go back to school, but if I end up finding myself in a position where I need to go back to school, then I will. And that's why I ended up doing a veterinary assistant program where I just learned a bunch of shit. And I got to hang out with dogs, which was dope. And then I realized that cats will try to eat you. Oh my God. I just remembered something very traumatizing that happened at work.
Oh, sick, Alec.
What?
What?
Oh, there was just a person who died and their dog started eating them.
Oh, that's normal.
Huh?
Yeah, if you die, your
Yeah.
animals will eat you.
Huh?
Yeah.
Well, you can't feed them anymore, so they'll just go for you.
I didn't need to know this information.
Anyway, on a
I just
different
watched
note,
anime. I didn't need to know this.
let's go back to what he was saying of like what's your overall thought about school.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's originally where we were.
That's why we're all gathered here today, Zach.
Yeah.
We're gathered here to talk about the education.
I got
system of the
distracted.
nation. You're on
Anyways,
track. No, I'm just kidding.
I do think school is important. I mean, coming from somebody who didn't pay attention and dropped out, I regret some of it. But I think a lot of it is the discipline of like getting up on time, going to classes, doing homework. It teaches you a lot of responsibility.
Sure.
And that's something that I had to find by myself. So that I regret. But I do think, you know, if you want to follow a career path, you can do the schooling for that at any point too. So if you take longer to learn things, like you can take your time. It doesn't have to be, 4 years, 4 years, and 4 years, and then college or whatever.
Well, so you got your GED, right?
Yeah.
Are you able to still go to college?
Yeah.
Right.
You can still do all of that. And also trade schools are huge.
Right.
And they generally lead to pretty good paying jobs if that's the route you want to go. So.
Aren't you? So I know you mentioned way back when you were here, you wanted to do like music school, or maybe music school or music production school, whatever school that ends up categorizing in. Is that still what you're looking into?
It's undetermined right now.
Right.
I'm still trying to like figure shit out.
Right.
Where it stands, yes, that's what I'd like to do, but
yeah. Well, that's when. So the biggest thing I have with school, specifically college, specifically university, because I mean, to me, high school was high school. I don't know. It's tough for me to give a broad opinion because there's just so much extra. I don't know. It's like I did okay in high school, so I don't want to bring the bias of I did well in high school. I wouldn't say I did well. I just did what I needed to do when I left. But what I enjoyed
you got by.
I got by,
Yeah.
and luckily I did have the Asian support of if you don't fucking graduate in 4 years, you're going to get fucking disowned.
Yeah.
Not in those words, but I can see it in I can see it in the flame of their eyes. Oh.
Dick. It's my freaking Red Bull, man. I asked for it.
How dare you?
All right, ready?
Oh man, that was great. Crisp. Not like the one that Zach did. He wasn't even on the mic. It just went and you heard it. It was great.
You did hear it.
No, so oh gosh, what was I saying?
Oh, they're sharing.
Oh, cute. Casting couch. I lost my train of thought for a little bit there, but what was I saying? School. I forgot. Then let me restart. Kinda-ish. I think high school, what I enjoyed the most, even though, I was, oh yeah, that's right. When I, the Asian stereotypes, you have to get A or you get disowned. It's true. It's not, I don't get offended by it because it's the truth.
Yeah.
When I was in elementary school and middle school, they gave me like extracurricular math and English books to do at home so I would do well in school. Did it suck? Yes, but I did it because I didn't know any better. And maybe that's the reason why I'm able to be able to assert common logic better in practical circumstances, despite me hating calculus. But what I really enjoyed about high school wasn't obviously it was extracurricular things and hanging out with friends, because that's not something you do when you're in college anymore. Yeah. So I think a lot of people, especially when I, now that I watch anime and shit, they think in Japan, a lot of the culture is, or a lot of the general mindset is that high school is the golden days, because when you leave high school, and I don't know if y'all know, but in Japan, the work life is very crushing. And if you're working a basic job, you get no free time ever. And you don't get time to spend with, it's always like, oh, I gotta work overtime, because they're like a well-oiled machine, but it's not that well-oiled. It's just a fucking machine over there. And then we get to reap the benefits as foreigners who get to tour there. Oh, this place is so pretty. Oh, this is the anime world. Yeah. And then it's not.
The Sunshine Land.
So when I see all of these animes about high schools and stuff, it sounds really silly, but it makes me kind of think back at the high school that I looked into. And I never joined any clubs. I did track and field, and that was technically the only club that I would do. You good?
Oh yeah, I just heard a plane.
Nice. Bar by PDX. Not really though. One time there was a helicopter that was so fucking low to our house that this entire room was shaking.
The hell?
Well, not like, but you can feel the rumble throughout, like the resonance throughout the entire room. I was scared as shit. It was like 3 a.m.
So my workplace, we are right next to the train tracks and kind of just right next to where the airport is. Mm-hmm. So there's days where we have when the army does their fighter jet training and stuff, dude, those going right above you, and then on top of that the trains going by at the same time, dude, they'd rattle as a freaking shop.
You're like, oh god,
it's what the crap,
Red Dawn is here. Shit.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, so that's I guess that's what I really liked, because what I did Clark, right? So I was never at high school, so that's one of the things I regretted. I basically just never had one solid friend group throughout high school. It was just whenever I came back from Clark, oh, who's here, I guess, that I can hang out with. And then I would always look forward to track, even though I had to run until my breath ran out, which I hated, because y'all know I don't like running. Yeah. But I like track, and I love hanging out with everybody.
Yeah, the extracurricular activities ended up being something that all of us, I think, looked up to. Whether it was literally, and also it was an escape too, for at least for me. I had family troubles and whatnot.
I graduated with 28 credits just because of extra stuff.
Because of band.
Yeah, band.
I'm pretty sure I also graduated with
I mentioned this before. Okay, kids are not designed to wake up early. It's been a proven fact.
Yeah.
And it's been a proven fact that kids, although they can run off of as we've done 3-4 hours, even less than that, no hours of sleep, it's technically proven that kids are supposed to get 10 hours of sleep or something like that every day. So it makes no sense. And then, just make the kids sleep earlier. And then not give them any time to do their homework. So it's this weird cycle that's incomplete, right? So what I think should be a thing is maybe instead of having extracurriculars after school, you make extracurricular before school.
That's what we did.
Right. Because that worked.
Yeah.
Because it's something you guys are more passionate about. So you'll wake up for it. I'm not going to wake up for fucking geometry.
Dude, I remember we would always complain why the heck is school starting at 8? Why can't we start at 9 or something like that? We need more sleep.
Yeah, literally just one more hour.
What it is that all the freaking, so I finally got told this was you think about it, all the middle schools and the elementary schools start after the high schools. So the elementary schools start at 9:30. So they don't get out of school until 4:30, which if you go past or later than that, then that starts having problems with, parents. Of being able to pick up kids, doing all that stuff. And that goes into way too late, which, I mean, if you're in elementary school and you have homework and it takes a little bit of time, all of a sudden you have a freaking 4th grader who's up till 9:30, which their bedtime is usually at 8:30, doing homework. It's that's where it comes into play.
Right.
Which is why I actually have kind of changed my mind on it. I like the fact that the high school will start at 8 o'clock because that's actually a good time to distinguish all right, some of you are gonna work 9 to 5 jobs. Sure. Some of you are gonna have to work early. So having that 8 o'clock start is actually really good for getting kids ready for when they do graduate.
I suppose so, but as someone who did running start. And I mean, I guess, yeah, you're right, because I think most people are going who go into schooling are going to work a 9 to 5.
Yeah.
So you're correct. So I guess that's me where I'm not going to work. Well, maybe I do, but in general, I probably won't work that type of job immediately. So for me, that makes no sense. As someone who was going to aspire to be an editor and I get my own hours and stuff, I was like, this is stupid.
But like for me, an example, like I have to be at work at 7 o'clock, 6:30 to 7 o'clock.
And that's most people.
Yeah, and that's most people. Granted, I'm usually there at like 6:45. That's like my normal start time. I'm not scheduled till 7. But like it helps because like I went to jazz band for 3 years out of 4 years of high school, and that set me up perfectly because now it's like it's still engraved.
Well, that's
a normal time.
But that's the thing, because it was jazz band.
Yeah.
It wasn't calculus.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. I don't think there's a problem with that early wake up time, that early start time, but I think it should be reserved for extracurricular activities because most people, I mean, I would like to think that most people did do extracurricular of some sort, whether it was a sport or a club or something. And then maybe, I know our school didn't really do it. They didn't really enforce taking clubs. So maybe if they did enforce taking clubs, then that would, and then, that plus clubs start in the morning rather than the afternoon. Because honestly, I hated coming home from school late after like track. And then obviously, I guess in that same mindset, if we put it in the front, then it wouldn't change anything. I'll still get home late after school. But at the very least, I was running and stuff and having fun and hanging out with my track mates and, doing all that in the morning. I think that's, I don't know. In my brain, you only wake up in the morning for 2 reasons. 1, responsibility, and nobody wants to do that. 2 is for whatever you're passionate about, because that passion requires you to wake up early.
Well, yeah, I think if you start the day doing something you actually look forward to doing, you'll be in a better mood the rest of the day, and being at the school would actually be easier for you. Because I just feel like it'd be better.
Yeah, I mean, if I feel like I brought this example up, but I love this example where it's like, okay, let's say with band. If you were done with the day at school and you're on your way home and you get called for whatever reason, say, hey, I need you back in the band room really quick. Would you do that? Would you go back?
It depends on what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let me ask a similar question, but other way, but differently. If you're on your way back home from school, you're on your way, back home from school, and you get a call and you say, hey, there's a couple assignments I needed you to grab real quick from algebra. Can you come back?
No.
Fuck no.
Fuck no.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right? There's a difference there.
Yeah.
And it's what you actually enjoy doing.
There was something about starting my day with 2 hours of band, because I had jazz band, which was from 7 to 8, and then, band, which was from 8 to like
hour and 15 most of the time.
Nah, listen, fuck off.
Whoa.
Rude. Accurate, but rude. But yeah, being able to start the day with 2 hours of approximately 2 hours of
scheduled 2 hours.
Fuck off. Of band class. You're a dick.
The slander that's being thrown across the room.
This
right
man
now.
showed up, I think, on time once his senior year for jazz band.
But that was my senior year.
It's understandable.
Okay, sophomore year, it was maybe like 20 times. Sorry, junior year.
Junior year, I showed up a lot, I think. As far as I can remember.
Anyway. You have to see, I think.
I'm sitting here like,
this was 5 years ago.
Anyway. Go ahead. Go on then.
So starting the day with 2 band classes made it so that I could tolerate the rest of my day, because it was a lot of like, oh yeah, I get to do these things that I really enjoy, do a couple really shitty classes, go to lunch, and then try not to fall asleep. And that was kind of how my day rinse and repeated every day. And then we would have like basketball games, football games, everything like that. And I think it was like my sophomore and junior year. I don't know if I did this as much my senior year, but in those 2 years, there would be times where I'd be at school from 6:45 in the morning until 8 o'clock at night. Or for the musicals that we did, I would be there till, 1 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I would have to be at school the next day, which would, of course, mean that I would be in jazz band for 15 minutes. But yeah, it was like, that was definitely one of the most motivating things for me in school.
Oh, I never gave my opinion on all school.
No, yeah. Let's go.
Yeah. All right, so the ColeBjack's opinion.
He said, "Yeah, we gonna learn today."
I think it's good. I think it needs a lot of updating with how stuff works nowadays. The whole thing of you need to have four full years of English and 3 years of math and everything. I don't think they should let up on that. I think they should change what you need, because like there's a lot of people where it's like they want to have one class be welding, they want to have one class be auto mechanics, and then go to band. Like they want to have those, but it only allows you to have one or two electives a year, 2 electives each semester. Right. And if you're behind one class, then you only get 1 elective, and it's stupid. It's why also you get to waive gym class so much. Like so many people just get it waived just because like they're behind in class. They can't like they have to retake classes. I think that's stupid because then that's making all those kids take these classes that they give absolute zero shits about. Right. That they'll never actually pay attention in. And that's why I like doing jazz band in the morning, because they gave me another time to have an extra class that I actually liked. Right. Which is why when I decided what schooling I was doing, I didn't go to the regular school. I went to a trade school. I went for machining, and I freaking loved it because I got there at 7 a.m. I had a 30-minute class every day in the morning where we just went over machining practices and stuff like that. And then I spent 7.5 hours the rest of the day
doing the thing that you wanted to do,
actually working on machines and building parts. And that's where I like going to there. Now the downside of trade schools, you don't get a college experience. Yeah. That's the thing that sucks.
Okay. So what do you constitute as a college experience?
Living in a dorm room, doing all the college stuff, living on campus, stuff like that.
What if you did Clark College? What if you did WSU Vancouver, the one in Salmon Creek, like I did? That didn't exist.
Yeah. It's like you don't really get a full
I understand
college experience of living on campus and all that stuff. But I got lucky though. So I went to Perry Tech over in Yakima, which I will actually shout out. It is the only good place in Yakima. True. For the first freaking month, I had a gang shooting that would happen next to the campus, and the guys ran across campus to escape. Yeah. Anyway,
Yakima.
But
no comment.
I was 35 miles from Ellensburg, which is where Central Washington is.
Okay.
I had 2 friends that went to Central like at the exact same time I moved to Yakima. So every other weekend I got to go over to Central and spend the entire weekend there at the dorms and hang out with them. So I actually got to have a college experience with all of those guys there without paying, $100,000 for classes I don't care about. That's
for a biology major.
For a biology major. Exactly.
See, that's it. Okay. So I'm going to not counter argue, but I'm going to half agree, half disagree. So I do think that I agree that it needs to be adjusted a little bit, but I do agree that they do need to push these general arts into high school just to shove it into your head. But what should happen is that after you've done that, you don't need to do that in college anymore.
Yeah.
When you do a bachelor's, you have unless you somehow thought ahead and took college class, did Running Start like I did or something, which not a lot of people do. Maybe they do it now more, but when I did it and it was kind of a newish thing, it didn't really go down like that. Why do I have to go to college and then take English 101 again and biology 230-69 again? That makes no sense.
See, I also think in high school,
and you got to pay 5-6 figures to do it again.
Yeah, exactly. It's annoying. But I think the way I've thought of this in high school is they should remove the amount of requirements for just normal classes and stuff like that. Still have certain requirements of, you need to have 2 years of English. Yeah. You got to at least understand the language that you live in. Obviously. And then certain math, honestly, I hated algebra and geometry when first taking it, but it is so worth it in normal life. Looking back, it's actually nice to know those simple skills. It's the fact of how many of these specific classes that no one really cares about. Right. I think you should still. My senior year, they moved the freshmen to needing to have 24 credits, which means you can't fail any classes. But they kept adding just more bullshit classes is what you have to take. I think they should. I've always thought they should remove that and then make it so you have to have more elective classes for skills that you want to have for real life. That way, if someone wants to go straight into trades and they want to know how to weld, machine, work on cars and everything,
Mhm.
they can have a day full of 3 or 4 classes and then continue to do like their regular math, English, and history. Or
No,
whatever.
legit. If
Like, it
if
would
they-
be so much better, and people will be engaged so much more.
I think it's 2 things. One, I took a video production class, literally my favorite class, because it was what I like to do. Right?
Oh, I
So
did too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right. And that was my shit. Like, hell yeah, I can do all this stuff we're going to do in Final Cut Pro. I'm going to take it home and put it in After Effects and do my cool COD effects and shit. I love that shit.
Yeah.
If I could do that, if I had like 2, 3, or 4 of those classes a day, I'd be so stoked and I would literally come to school every day. Right. And then on the other side, it's also, for me, you know, a lot of people go into college undeclared, right?
Yeah.
Because how in the world, you're 18. Yeah, you just know what you want to do. Just pick. Just don't be weird. Just pick. For me, I think high school electives is meant to just do a bunch of random shit.
Yeah.
Do welding, do video production, do photography, do cooking or whatever. Just random shit. And then what if you find your thing?
Yeah.
You're like, you know what?
But
you know
like-
what? I'm a 200-pound linebacker and I like cooking.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
gonna, you know,
The sucky thing is, like, most time you only get to have one of those elective classes,
Yes.
maybe 2, and like out of 4 years, you get to have 4 of those classes, maybe 6 or 8.
Yeah.
But think of all the different elective classes that there are.
there, yeah.
Like,
So
There's no way to encompass.
yeah, exactly. Like, you could have taken this one class, and all of a sudden that completely changes your life, and you want to go down this road, and it could be
It could
complete
literally
better
just
for
be
you.
one class. Yeah.
Yeah, literally.
So one of the things that was the most frustrating, at least for me, was that I never really had a chance to like choose an elective that I enjoyed doing because I had band class and then I also had ASL. And so you had to take, what was it, 2 years of a language or some shit like that?
Mhm.
You need to have 4 years of English.
4 years, but a foreign language.
Yeah.
Foreign language?
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 2 years.
Technically, yeah.
No, it's required to graduate.
I
2 years.
graduated with 1 year.
1 year. Is it 1 year?
So that
I guess-
that's
I guess
one
it
of those, that's one of
depends.
those things where it's like iffy. It's like, yeah, we can waive it.
Well,
Whatever.
you're supposed to have 3 years of science, I think, and I got away with 2.
No, you're supposed to have. So the ones that are actually kind of fairly
At least for
strict on,
our school. For our
yeah,
school.
are English, math, and science.
Mhm.
Those are the ones that are actually kind of strict on.
Yeah, but I was able to get through it because they technically, it was weird because I took sociology in Clark, so it was kind of like a social science. So they gave me they like, okay, is it gonna be a history or is it gonna be a science? I'm like, well, I don't want to take physics or chemistry, so make it a science.
Yeah, you know what's funny?
Yeah.
My math credits.
Mhm.
So I never passed my second semester of Algebra 1. I took it 2 years. In the first year, I passed the first semester, failed second semester.
Mhm.
So they made me retake Algebra 1. So I took Algebra 1, first semester, I passed again, and it failed second semester. But because I had two half
They
credits
gave it to you.
of first semester,
Oh,
that
you're
equals
right.
a full credit of Algebra 1.
You said
So I was able to move on. Let's go.
The strat, just a long
Yeah.
game.
Literally.
I was so bummed though because I think video productions was like the only actual elective class that I was able to do other than like
Oh,
Music
bro,
and
that
ASL.
class was so much fun. Did you take any electives, Alec? Did I ask you this? I feel like I did.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, I did choir, but I don't know if that counts.
I think technically it counts, but yeah.
He wasn't in school long enough to.
I did ASL for 30 seconds.
Technically, if even though it does count as other credits, a band is technically an elective because it's not English, math, or whatever.
It's not an elective. It's an arts.
yeah.
Oh,
it was
you're
an
right.
arts.
You're right. Arts.
Yeah.
Artsy fartsy.
Yeah, I was supposed to get a digital arts degree, and then I realized, at least in WSUV. I mean, listen, everybody there was fantastic. All the professors there are fantastic. The faculty is fantastic. Everyone there was awesome. And although there wasn't a campus life, I literally enjoyed every single minute being on campus, as long as it wasn't in a classroom. But, so digital arts, things like Photoshop shit, working on videos and such, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe my cup of tea, and it is my cup of tea. So why would I have to take 5 coding classes?
Yeah, that
All
doesn't make any
300
sense.
plus level.
Huh?
And my first video production class was a 200 level, and it's 201. God, I love that class. But it's only 200 level because I felt like in my brain There's a 100 level, and 100 level classes are just book work. Like you just do here's a textbook, here's assignments. You just do this. Just sit here and look at words until you memorize the shapes of these ink. And then 200 level classes when you actually start doing things within that thing. So I'm glad I took 200 instead of 100 because I actually, okay, cool. Let's do some projects. That was great. That was in my 3 years was the only video class I took.
That's some shit.
Right? And I had to give them all my money so I can learn how to code in HTML and Java and shit. I'm not doing that. Coding makes no sense to me in my brain.
You know, I feel like there's certain jobs that you want to do where it's almost better if you just try to learn on the job.
Yeah, that's my, okay. So, man, I was talking to my brother about this because he is a coder. That's what he wants to do. But the problem is, he's facing that thing right now where first of all, he's the golden child. Good for him. Whatever.
Can't relate.
But the thing, like I was literally last night we were talking about it because he's at the point now where he has to think about like getting an internship and stuff and how he wants to get a job because with his job, it's one of those things where you can't get it without experience. How do I get experience without work? That cycle that doesn't exist.
I hate that shit.
That's where he's at right now. So the advice I gave him is that, well, technically, if you think about it as a creative job or an art job, the way you would promote yourself would be to create, personal projects, create a portfolio, and then just advertise yourself as much as possible. Because, you can't even get an internship without experience. Why does that make sense? You're supposed to do the internship to get experience. Mm-hmm. That doesn't make any sense, right? So, it's like, okay, well, if you think of it like that, then that's technically school, you learn theory, I guess. But once you can't get shoved theory down your head for 4 years because then you get your piece of paper that says you looked at shapes that mean words for 4 years and you give it to an employer and they put you inside their company and they're like, okay, cool. So everything you learned, so we do it differently.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we have our own proprietary software, we have a proprietary, we do things this way. Some standard does this way, but we kind of do it this way because it's easier for us.
That happened for me, working at the job I'm at now. Mm-hmm. So I learned, there's very specific ways of where you have to code for CNC machines.
Sure.
And how you generate programs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I learned a very specific way on how to do it, a very proper way. As soon as I get into this new shop, he's like, yeah, no, we don't, there was this thing called, I'll kind of go into it.
Sure.
There's this thing called diameter offsets.
Okay.
Basically, you have a tool that comes down and it spins really fast, and you want it to be on this line exactly. So you tell the machine, hey, this tool is this thick, offset it that much, and it'll be perfectly on that line.
I know. Okay. I know that.
There's that, and I was taught how to actually program all that stuff and everything like that. Sure. And then I get into this, and he's like, "Oh no, we don't do that. We just measure how much, how thick the tool is, and then when we generate all the code for it, we just generate it off of that thickness. So the code isn't actually on the line; it's offset automatically in the code from the program. It's like complete. It's not if you're not in
sure. No, I know what you mean. Yeah,
it's just one of those things where it's like, why are we doing it this way? Well, it's like, that's what works. That's how we do it.
Yeah,
it's
because humans work on critical thinking and problem solving.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, we have a problem with that, so that we do it this way. But yeah, even in every single job, I bet you there's stuff that comes across like that. Whether it's coding, whether it's machining, even in music production shit. There's going to be ways that some people do it, and that's the way you would have been taught at school.
Oh, yeah.
And then someone's like, no, just boost the game.
Are you kidding me? The amount of things I learned just being a COD editor and just talking amongst my mutuals and how they do things, I learned so much.
Yeah.
Just by myself, watching YouTube tutorials and speaking with people in the field. Because they have the experience and they'll let you know. Because, yeah, this is what you're supposed to do, but it makes no fucking sense. So just do it like this instead. And some people are going to argue, well, you got to learn the basics and the fundamentals. And if you ever, if anybody cared to watch my edits in the past, that's what I was good at, the basic and the fundamentals. But I didn't have to be taught it. I just had to look at it, and think, okay, well, how would I go about doing it? Let me ask some people, and I think one of the greatest assets of a college is the faculty and the professors, because when you get to ask them questions, it's something that you take for granted, because they're really knowledgeable and they're human beings. They want to help you out.
But, you know, it's like, sometimes you just don't do. I mean, this is for college and university. For high school, I don't know. Maybe, hopefully so, but at least in my case, not really. But I think you're kind of, you jump into the independent mindset of you got to do everything on your own when they're there to help you. And, you know, they have the things like writing. I know there was like writing workshops and stuff where you can go in and they can literally sit down with your essay and say what's wrong with it. And nobody did that shit. And it probably would have been the greatest thing I ever did with my papers, but I never did that shit. Is it because I was, I don't know, embarrassed to do it? Or no, it was just because the way I was raised to do school is that no, nobody's going to help you. You're going to do it yourself.
I think that's the hard part is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't force them to drink it. It's like there are so many different avenues that you could go down. There are so many different resources that are out there, even in college. And, you know, a lot of times those resources are never really utilized. And so it's kind of hard because we can sit here and talk about like how we could make, you know, high school better or college better or, you know, going into like starting a new career.
Let's run for office.
Yeah. Politics. But
Make this world worse.
No. Well, better in one way, but worse in every other way.
But yeah, just the idea of like, you know, there's only so much that they could do potentially to make it more engaging and to make it so that people actually want to go. As opposed to just like what I was doing. I was like, yeah, I'll go to band, but I don't give a shit about, you know, English 1 or, you know, in your case, honors English 2.
Honors English 2, yes.
Yeah. But yeah, it gets so messy. The more that I think about it, the more I realize like, oh wow, this is actually going to be kind of hard to figure out.
I don't know. For me, I would have, if I had the choice, I would have taken 4 years of algebra instead of algebra, or 4 years of like algebra 2 or 1 or whatever, instead of just algebra 2, trigonometry, geometry, calculus, statistics. Because I walk out now and I remember nothing from a calculus. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Because nothing we did was practical. The only thing I remember was the damn Chef Boyardee video that we made for the class project because it was funny as shit. Basically, after we took our AP class, which is essentially our final, there's nothing to do anymore because that's basically what you're working towards. But you take it in like May or not even, I think like April or something like that. So then you have 2 months of doing nothing in calculus. So we're just like, yeah, let's just fucking party and have fun and that was awesome because it felt like a really good reward to work for. So we just did like random bullshit projects and like, okay, well, you all know these things. And yes, we still use like calculus things and graphing and stuff like that. But it's like, yeah, just like find the this and that for like how much popcorn people eat at a theater, you know, just random fun shit. And then we would, in the very end, we just have this project where it's still on my channel, Chef Boyardee, and we made a video of the chef. Remember the Chef Boyardee commercials?
Yeah.
The one with the rolling can and shit. We did that, but with a TI-89. And it was funny as shit. It was expensive ass calculator. It was my friend's. Shout out to Aiden Silberg. I don't know where he is. He's probably dead, but shout out to you. And it was dead, or speak, but not him, but well, maybe him. But the TI-89 was like, it was broken, right? So we just had this dummy TI-89 that we can just chuck and shit. It was hilarious. There's nothing more satisfying than throwing and eating something that's expensive.
Yeah.
So we're just like,
you know, like a CPU.
Yeah, exactly. So just like rolling it on the floor. We ran it over with a car. We threw it across the parking lot. It was hilarious. And that was really fun. What did that have to do with schooling? I don't know, but would I trade that for just doing 4 straight years of algebra? Yes, I would. Honestly, I would, because that was pointless, you know?
Yeah, it is. Like I said, it's hard to, with the power of hindsight, because like all of us have grown so much since we were in high school, because, you know, we're talking almost 5 years ago, almost 4 years ago, almost 5 years ago. And, you know, it's one of those situations where looking at it from the perspective of people who are working and deciding on a continued education or have already done that, you know, it's hard to really think about it with the mindset that we had when we were in high school. And I mean, you know, I was just such a lazy fuck that it's just kind of like, that wasn't really something that I was super interested in. And school in and of itself was not really anything that I wanted to dedicate a lot of time and effort into, other than the music side of it. Because like, I'm sure I've told all of you guys that I originally was going to school to be a music teacher. And then that didn't work out. And then I went into veterinary medicine.
Right. Well, I
didn't know what I was doing until January of my senior year. And then I went to an open house at Perry, actually. And they was like, yeah, let's look at a few of these different trades. I was originally looking at welding. And then I realized how freaking dirty that is. So I didn't want to do that. And I looked at HVAC, which is like air conditioning and stuff like that. And I looked at instrumentation, which is like a little dials and stuff. And I went to the machine program and I saw the instructor there have a CNC going, and he was making dominoes in there as like a little demonstration. I saw that. I'm like,
Pog diorama.
And I'm like, oh no, you're in a shop the entire time. It's probably AC'd and heated. I like this. I'm gonna do machining.
Literally just one thing, right?
Yeah.
You never know, and that could be just one elective you happen to take in high school. Yeah. Instead of you only get like one or two
class.
Electives, and then you go into college undetermined.
Yeah.
And then you just start taking. You have to spend like 10 grand on classes.
And 5 years later, you have a friend who's doing this one thing that you gonna do. You're like, damn, I wish I would have done this instead. That's really cool.
Do you want to say something?
I made pizza and now I work with planes. So
yeah. I think college would be fun, just if it wasn't as expensive. Yeah. So that's why I agree in that I wish they gave you more electives in high school, so that way you can spend more time figuring out what you want to do instead of, okay, or they make you do all that boring gen ed stuff in gen art stuff. Yeah, general education things in high school. And then they make college not as expensive. So then that way, but I don't know, actually.
That ain't going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah, I guess. Greedy. Yeah, but then if you give them more electives, then that means you'd have to take more general arts in college. Yeah. So it's like, well, what do you want to do? I personally would rather not have general arts in college. However, then I guess you'd have to put stuff, or they could just reduce the amount. Ideally, in my college, it would just be the trade school route where, okay, you want to do music in university for some reason. Let's just say that, right? Okay, you're here. You're going to spend 10, 20, 30K to be here. You're only going to take music classes.
Yeah, that's why I think high school should be the time where you have options. And then when you're gonna go to school that you're gonna pay for, it should be strictly what and you want to do instead of all the extra shit that comes with that.
I just think there's just way too many like structured classes. There's just way too many way too many just structured classes that you just have to take in high school. I think that's literally the whole problem.
Yeah. I did go back to school, as I mentioned, and went back for network IT. And 2 months down, and I realized I don't want to do network IT. What have I done? Yeah. I just wasted money. Yeah. And I dropped out of that class the other day. And I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to drop more money to try a different class. And there's a drop. Oh, but Arthur, there's a free period, like the first couple of weeks where you can drop out of the class. How do I know I'm not going to like the class in 1 to 2 weeks?
Yeah.
I think at Clark is like 2 weeks. And WSU was the week of. How in the world am I not going to know that? Because in the beginning, I was enjoying it for the most part. Like, this is fun. I can do network IT. And then 6 weeks pass by, and now all this shit is brain surgery. I'm like, this makes no sense to me.
See, and that's why there's one thing I will say Perry used to do really well is you had 2.5 weeks to fix classes when you start school or start semester. You could go to your counselor and like, hey, this isn't working. This isn't what I wanted. You know what sucks? My senior year, like after my senior year when I graduated, you can't change your classes anymore. You get what you get.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they changed that fully, which sucks because like people like me, like I would go into it. It's like I wasn't like, for instance, when I did which one was it? I think it was my senior year or my junior year. I start and they put me on my online classing for history and put me in an actual English class, which is like I had a 504 plan, which was saying no English classes. I can't learn in an English and like in an actual classroom. It's too fast for me.
Right.
So they accidentally switched those over. If I couldn't have switched, dude, I would have been royally fucked
Yeah.
with that.
Yeah. So my freshman year, I didn't even have any music classes or anything.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I started off my freshman year with no music classes, and I was just in PE
Yeah.
first period and second period. Or no, second period.
Dude, PE first period sucks. I couldn't imagine doing that. I never had PE in high school.
Me neither. I
Yeah.
had it for like a week, and then I was like, this is bullshit.
Yeah, not once.
Yeah.
You got it all waived.
Damn kids.
Yeah.
I was
you
in
know,
dance
you know what?
class.
I will. Well, I don't know. I liked PE. It was fun. I liked it because, well, for the freshman year PE, I mean, it was just the same idea. You just let's just all play like football and shit. But,
Correction. I actually
Yeah,
have
yeah,
a correction to that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
technically had an SST class, which is like a speed
training. Yeah,
speed
speed
strength training.
training,
I think. Yeah. I technically had it for the first
I love
week
that
of my
class.
freshman year.
Mhm.
But that was when I had my concussions.
Mhm.
I had just got a concussion playing football.
Mhm.
So I couldn't participate in anything. I couldn't run. I couldn't like do sit-ups, push-ups, nothing. I just had to sit there. So they transferred me out
Mhm.
because that concussion was going to last a long time.
Mhm.
And then after that, I just never had a PE class because I was behind in school.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you think about it, huh? That's because PE, physical activity and health, maybe health, I can probably see the argument, but I think it was only like 0.5 credits, I think. So one semester only. So it wasn't that bad for PE though. I think you needed 1.5. So 3 semesters. I can see how that can be waived because, well, if you're behind or you can't be fucking ass because you'd rather do some other elective or some other fun class that will actually help you, that'll be better, right? Or if you just liked PE, then you would take it, right? So that should be maybe an elective instead. And then health, yeah, I guess I can agree. You gotta teach these damn kids this thing.
Yeah.
But otherwise, everybody was in strength training. They love strength training. I fucking love strength SST. It was fun, even though I was a weak kid. I loved it.
Do you guys remember Falcon transitions?
That was the dumbest
Oh,
shit.
Hey, I got something
Oh my
about this. So
God.
you know how I said something about how switching your classes?
Mhm.
So my freshman year, my second semester,
Mhm.
halfway through the semester, I found out I finally fully got diagnosed for my dyslexia and like all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I had these classes that just weren't working anymore.
Mhm.
And it was like going against my 504 plan. So I'm legit over halfway through the semester,
Mhm.
and I get a schedule change of 3 of my classes.
Oh.
And I didn't have Falcon transition my first semester, so I was supposed to have it for my second semester,
Mhm.
but I didn't get scheduled for it. So they're like, "Oh, well, we need you to take this class, so we'll just hop you into there." I had 4 assignments, and then I passed it because I started so
Damn.
far into it. But yeah, so my Falcon transition was, well, you're here. We have 1 assignment and then the final, and then we have these
Mhm.
2 other little assignments.
For those who don't know, Falcon Transition was literally teaching a bunch of kids how to open files and use
Yeah,
a
it was-
computer.
yeah,
it
it was
was the
basically
bit like literally teaching a toddler.
Yeah.
It was really demeaning.
It was supposed to be meant for like, hey, you're new to this school.
Mhm.
You all are freshmen, so you need to know how to all this stuff normally works.
Sure,
So that's
sure.
what kind of the class was.
Nah, bro, the class was
It
more
was-
like
or
how to make
Written out,
PowerPoints
it
and-
was supposed to be like that.
yeah.
I think I skipped it.
If you skipped it, then good, because if you already knew how to use a computer, it was like, I was like,
Let me learn. Let me take 3 months to teach you how to use Microsoft Word.
Yeah.
I'm doing a class right now. It's called like Business 149 or something like that. And it's literally that class. So I'm excited to try and breeze through it because I looked at I'm super behind because really quick, I already mentioned it before, but I got kicked out of one of my classes in the beginning of the week because for inactivity. It was funny. It's like I was just busy that week because life happens, you know. It's like, okay, well, I mean, I'm online and all my assignments are due on Sunday. So I'm like, okay, well, I'll just tank this first week and do everything on the weekend, right? It's whatever. Who cares, right? Or and if worst comes to worst, I'll get like 10% off for late assignments or whatever. Bless you. And I'm like, it's Friday, right? Not even the weekend. Well, I guess weekend, but it's Friday, and I get an email. I'm like, hey, you've been dropped out of this class for inactivity. Inactivity? Is this a fucking CSGO game? What do you mean I got kicked for inactivity? I was pissed because like I was gonna do it. I just didn't have time. So I emailed my professor. We got, and first of all, she's super nice, great lady, right? And that's my point. Like they're all great people. You just gotta talk to them.
talk to them. I was like, okay, cool. Just talk with Clark or whatever to get you re-enrolled, right? And I'm trying to figure it out. It's the weekend, so I can't call them. So I have to wait till Monday. And then I find out that their hours are different. So I missed the Monday because I was too late. So I got to try on Tuesday. I shoot an email. I couldn't get an appointment because you have to schedule an appointment. And it's this whole thing. And then 3 weeks go by of me not doing any assignments in that class. And then we find out that I wasn't actually kicked in the system. I was still in the class. So I was like, okay, cool. Not cool. Now I'm 3 weeks behind. So I'm like, fuck. So now I have to make up all those damn classes. Luckily, though, it's an easy class. So I should be fine because it's just how to use like Microsoft Word and stuff. And I look at some of the assignments. Okay, so you double click this to highlight the word.
Yeah.
And you can backspace it to delete the word. If you control A, you can select all. I'm like, oh, we're chilling.
Yeah.
Although I am scared when we go to Excel because Excel makes no sense to me. But
Excel makes no sense.
In general.
Yeah.
I am using not Excel, but Google Sheets. I started using it to organize some of my things because I've been building keyboards and stuff and doing all sorts of things. And I've been trying it. It's actually, the way I use it is like the most monkey brain way, but it's nice. Like I had like green and yellow and stuff.
All right. So what's the overall thoughts of all of schooling experience? Arthur.
Me, okay. I think in general, what people wanted to hear or what they were expecting to hear was that, hey, school is bad and school should not exist. But I think overarchingly, school is good. It just needs to be adjusted in a way that makes sense, at least in current times. Because, yes.
0 out of 10.
0 out of 10? 5.
Okay. Zach?
Okay.
Thoughts?
Okay. So,
Wow.
So I think school is one of those things that is helpful and beneficial to help you learn how to like prioritize time, teach you a good work ethic, all of these different types of things. But also I feel like it is just so counterintuitive when it comes to the way that like our brain works during that time. Because like, at least for me, I'm the type of person where if I'm not doing something with my hands, I'm losing my fucking mind.
Yeah.
And so I think if it was changed a little bit to make it so that there was more of that hands-on, actually doing things instead of listening to someone talk for an hour, then I think that would be the best.
Mm-hmm.
Out of 10, 6 because the music classes were fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alec?
Yeah, I just think it needs to be adjusted for how modern people are too, because it's shitty how it is. I am the type of person where I just couldn't do it. Like I just could not. I could not sit there and have shit shoved in my brain for 6 hours every day, and then go home and have to do more of that shit. So, it needs to be fixed, like
somehow.
Just adjust to
modern times.
And how people work nowadays. Like it's just not. I
have a note, but Jack. Yeah. Oh yeah, no, actually no. What is your
for
rating?
me? It was a 2.
A 2.
I'd say for the first 12, like normal education system, it definitely needs fixed. It needs to be modernized, which they're actually doing with all the kids having laptops and stuff like that, which they're trying to do. And I respect it, but they need to fix the curricular side of it, of what classes have to be taken and stuff like that. So that whole aspect of that, I'd probably give like a 6 or something like that. Same as Zach. After that, I think they should emphasize of finding out, starting in like middle school. I think they should start drilling in of you need to figure out what you need to do, what you want to do, of having all that stuff figured out, so that when you do finish that, you can actually go and find something where, for instance, with my schooling, I'll rate it 10 out of 10. I loved it. It was something I actually loved. If I would have gone to college, it probably would have been a 3. But
just figuring out.
But then you put it all together. I think overall school experience growing up was like a 6.5, 7.
Sure. Yeah. I agree that maybe they should start drilling that in a middle school. Yeah. So that way you have an idea of the classes the electives you want to take in high school, since you're so limited on them anyways. Rather than, because what is elementary school, middle school? Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?
A firefighter.
I want to be an astronaut. And then you go into high school. Oh, we don't have astronaut classes.
Yeah.
I want to be a politician. So you want to be hated by an entire group of people.
Don't worry, you're already there, little Timmy.
I hate you, Timmy.
Timmy, little Timmy, go fuck yourself.
Oh, if I can punt you, little Timmy, I can punt you so far. What was my note? Oh fuck! I wanted to bring something up because Alec mentioned it. Oh, shit. What were you saying, Alec? Hold on, remind me.
I just didn't like sitting and hearing people talk for 6 hours a day and going home and doing the same shit.
That's what it was. Yeah. So, all right, gamers, homework. I fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
Fuck that shit.
Why do I hate it? Because
you don't have homework at a job.
Exactly.
I think it's very unimportant.
It is very unimportant. I think if it's so important, then why isn't that drilled into the classwork already?
Well,
yeah. We are doing the classwork.
Well, the thing is, like, it's like, okay, this is classwork, but if you don't finish it in class, then it's homework. Well, you only gave us 5 minutes to freaking do the classwork.
Yeah.
If you can't, like, have what you need to be said in an hour-long class to the point where you need to take it home, that is a problem. Because you're in that room for what I think a normal class period is like 55 minutes.
Yeah.
There's no way you shouldn't be able to get what you need to have said in that time.
Or even if it needs to be said, condense it down. Yeah, you have to condense it down so that way you have the equal amount of parts to work on it. Or like, okay, so in college, right? Homework in college is the stupidest thing to exist because you're spending sometimes an hour, which was an average college class is like over an hour. Oftentimes nobody's really taking the hour-long classes unless it's like weekly and you're a masochist.
Yeah.
Most people are going to take multi-hour classes. And in that case, oftentimes, they just go through it and like, yeah, cool. All right, you got the rest of the class to do your homework and stuff and whatever. But what I have a problem with is that when you do take those classes where you have not homework that you have to take home, but just dedicated homework, like this is what we're going to learn, and then this is what you have to do at home. That's my problem because they're like, this is the same excuse I get every single time. Yeah, there's a lot of homework in this class, but as long as you do it every day, you'll be fine. Yeah, but what about my other classes? They told me that too.
Also, what about my personal life?
Oh, what about my personal life? There's no personal life.
What about my job?
No.
Especially when you're in high school, your personal life is super fucking important.
Yeah.
And having that interrupted by shit that you should have learned at school in general, that's a problem.
Your personal life is what keeps you sane.
Yeah. I got lucky in the last few years and the last multiple years of my schooling, except for like my freshman, sophomore year was screwed because of the amount of homework I had. But like my 7th to 8th grade, my teachers flat out told us like, hey, we don't want you guys to have homework. We're on this bandwagon. If homework isn't really important, you need to do stuff at school, and that way you can have time at home to do stuff at home.
That must have been nice. Pleasant Valley fucked me.
Yeah. I just had really freaking good teachers. I got lucky. And then my junior, and then my junior and senior year, I actually had teachers that were like, "Hey, here's the assignment for today." I did the first lesson in the first 10 minutes of class. Now you have 40 minutes to go do this, and this assignment should only take you 20 minutes.
Yeah, I feel like you can integrate the assignments the homework and assignments within the lesson or within the lecture.
Doing the first 2 problems of the homework. That's what we did at when I was at trade school. We had a booklet of all the assignments and everything, and you could technically go ahead of the class if you wanted.
Right.
But he was like, "Hey, here's the first problem of the homework. Here's how you do it, and then here's the next section of it. Here's the first part of that." And he would show us that, and then we could go and do it. And then he always gave us the thing of, you can spend the next hour in here if you want doing homework, or if you really want to just get your projects done, you can go and just start do that. But he would give us an hour in which we could actually do our assignments.
An hour doing your assignments within that classroom is like the golden, like the greatest opportunity to get, because you have help, you have colleagues to work on it. If you're at home by yourself in your little dinky teenage gaming setup, you're not gonna do shit.
No.
So also another thing that I didn't even really think about until now is the fact that you have completely lost any motivation to do it the second you stepped into your house. And also you're trying to work on stuff the topic of which has completely left your brain because you went and had lunch and you sat and gossiped with a bunch of people on the bus or whatever the fuck, and so you have such a shitty chance of actually remembering all of the things that you did throughout the day. And that's another really hard thing about school too, is that they just try to cram so much stuff into your brain in such a short period of time, and so it just kind of turns into like, all right, I'm going to remember like 20% of this, And then now I get to go home and
Mhm.
try to relearn the things that they taught me in class because I just had 6 other classes that were trying to do the same thing.
I think the idea, because I think they do want to promote critical thinking. It's just the curriculum is changed so much to make it like, you know, really drilled in that it doesn't make any sense. But I mean, I don't know. Is that something that 4 dudes are going to change? I don't know. I think it's going to be something more like it's going to be in multiple generations. But I do think it is changing, especially with technology. So I would like to, hopefully, I don't know if we'll see it in our lifetime, but I do hope that at some point it makes more sense and people actually do want to go to school, where we move past the old days of go do high school, get A's, do 4 years of college, get a degree, sit in an office.
Yeah.
You know, we're past that now. People make millions of dollars streaming on Twitch, you know?
Yeah. I'm really glad that we're at a point now where like enough people are deciding like, hey, I think this needs to change.
Mhm.
And
That's
I think
one of the few movements that's going out around nowadays that I'm actually like full on for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be for it, yeah. Like, I don't know how it's going to change because that's just not where we step in, but someone knows how it's going to change. Someone has a plan.
right.
And let that person have a plan. We'll end it here. I just want to say, overarching, school needs to be changed. It needs to be less expensive. It needs to be more accessible. And I always say, for just a kind of my general thoughts in schooling is that someone from a low income home, some kid from a low income home, could have the cure for cancer, and we'd never know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
That's all. All right. Well, that's a good way to end it. I'm sure everybody's really happy now. School is not bad. It's just think about it the way you want to think about it. Think about it rationally. But that's all we have. Thank you guys. Thank you, Alec and Jackson, for coming on. It was gonna be 5 people, and that would have been fucking hectic. And I was teasing the 5 microphone setup, but it didn't happen today, so it's all good. But at least we know we can do it.
Yeah.
So if we want to just bring like a fucking a frat party here, we'll bring a frat party here. I would rather not because it would be really messy in here. But you know,
That sounds very chaotic.
Yeah. But where can they find you guys, Jack?
We got me at Cole_Bennett24 on Instagram.
Sure.
And my username is Sweeney266 literally everywhere. So
All right, you'll find it anywhere. Fansley, yeah, you know the vibes.
yeah, OnlyFans. My
It'll be in
private Twitter.
You got a super follow for that.
Reddit guy.
You can find them in the description. You can find Zach and I in the description as always, and as well you can guys support this channel. Let's see. This episode, if you want to watch Alec's first episode, boy was that a train wreck. You can click right here, and then right here it'll be Jackson's first episode, and you can see how things have evolved since then. This has been a long time, but that's all I have. Thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.